Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to East versus West.
Welcome, everybody, to another Sunday Night Casual with me, Dexter. And this week, we'll focus a little bit more about the award ceremony and potentially talk something about other than Vienna. We'll go beyond and might release, we'll talk a little bit about Germany because, well, it's not fair to say I won't talk about Vienna because it's kind of tied together. So we'll hit that in a second. And thank you, Houdini. Hit that like button. That helps the algorithm. Helps my algorithm so it gets pushed forward and it'll go out to more people watching this. So thank you, Houdini. The new trophy, huh? Let's see. This sucker right here. Holy cow. All right. So you can see, I'll put it on a camera so you can really see. Obviously, this is a prototype, so it's not polished or anything. You can see a little bit of the imperfections, but we made this, we commissioned it just so that we can get a feel of it before we build a crap ton of these and become the new golden arm, right? We didn't want to repeat the old mistake where we spent 10 grand building two gauntlets that less than beautiful, but this would be about that height, right? Plus with like maybe 8 centimeter or a 10 centimeter base, then somebody would be carrying this like this. Now, obviously, I'm not a very big guy, so let me step back a little bit. Sorry, I'm not a very big guy, but with that base, now just imagine like I'm Levon or something, right? He'll probably grab it like this. It still looks good in their hands. You see what I'm saying? That's why we need to make sure that it's big enough where it looks good, but yet not too big. Now they can't even get through customs or something because it's so heavy. It's right now it's 3D printed in gold, but and that is the whole intention, right? I wanted this to be gold, so we don't look any luster, and it looks so good. Looks so good, right? So there's that. But yeah, anybody got any ideas? Now, obviously, there's a strap. Now, typically, straps don't go through, obviously the thumb, but like in that manner, right? But it's one way where it's like kind of secured in there, which is the whole idea of having the strap goes through it. But at the same time, it looks good. It looks good. At least I think it looks good. Maybe I'm a little bit biased. It looks like my forearm. No, it's modeled after me. I put my hand into one of the wax thing, and it came out, and it looks just like this, guys. I was kidding. Oh, we have Robert here. Hey, Robert.
Hello, Dexter.
Hey. Yeah, we were just talking about the fancy, nice trophy.
The new trophy, the golden arm.
Yeah, it's not complete perfect yet, but we intend on making one of these for all the winners, and then we allow them to start keeping track. How many golden arms do you got, buddy? Right? And it becomes it's a new thing, and hopefully it catches on, and it means something, right? To be able to say, hey, I say I'm rookie of the year, and I'm Rickard, and it's like I'm rookie of the year. How many people can say that? Well, technically, so far only he can. It means something.
Yeah, you mentioned on the award ceremony yesterday that Duvon is not he's not going to qualify for Rookie of the Year for 2026 because he's already pulled in 2025, right? So I didn't think about that, but that's right. Yeah, he doesn't qualify.
Yeah. I'm sure he, between that or getting an opportunity to go on stage, I think he'll still take that any day, right? So I'm not too concerned about that. All right, so let's see. There's one question here. Tomber7411 says, "Hello, let me ask an unrelated question. Who is the chosen one, Anakin Skywalker or Harry Potter?" What? They're both. They're both the chosen one.
I think Anakin Skywalker.
But technically, there's a lot of debate because it could be Luke Skywalker that's the chosen one who brings peace and balance in the Force, right? It's not Anakin, but it was actually Anakin's son. Because eventually, you see Luke rebuilding the whole Jedi community again. Whereas Harry Potter, isn't he the chosen one? Anyway, I don't know. I'm not very good with all these.
I'm not very good at answering that because I've seen Star Wars, but I haven't seen Harry Potter really.
Harry Potter. I used to be such a big nerd in middle school about Harry Potter. I once had a website, a fan website that I ran, and it was everything about Harry Potter. And we would have like a chat bot, not really like a chat bot in there that will ask questions in the community, and the first person who answers it correctly gets some points. That doesn't do anything. It's just bragging rights. And it's all like Harry Potter trivia stuff. Read every book, but I'm a big nerd. But now I can't remember any of those. Yeah, people are talking about the arm. Everybody is liking it. So far, I haven't really seen anybody really giving any harsh critique on it. But yeah, we'll refine this a little bit more, polish this up with the base, and we'll call it a day. The straps, however, I was just thinking about the straps. Embroidering the straps, what happens is if somebody yanks it out from the trophy, then this trophy doesn't, it's not as durable. It's not like generational, passed down to your grandkids kind of level. But if it's like the traditional with the base, the metal, the wooden base with the engraving on the metal, it probably will last generationally, right? So we'll think a little bit more about this before we got all excited and finalize things. But yeah, EVW Emmy, or the Golden Globes or the Oscars, or now the Golden Arm Awards.
Now, what about? I actually think that having it on the base on the plate of the base makes the most sense for sure. But what about gold? I think maybe we put gold plating on the golden arm because it's a golden arm, right? It should be gold.
Well,
but gold did go way up in price here. So maybe we can't make it too much.
I was just about to say that it's all about a budget issue. Yeah. But actually, I wonder if does the Oscars, right? Do they have any gold in the Oscar trophy? Is
maybe check ChatGPT.
Any gold in the Oscar trophy? Let's see. Ooh, okay. So yeah, they are plated in 24K gold. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we should probably do that.
Okay, well, we can't lose to the Oscars. We gotta be right up there. But well, let's not make any commitment until we get a quote back, because all of a sudden it's like $2,000 per trophy. We might be struggling a little bit there. But
it'd be probably more than that if it was gold plated, because the gauntlet was $5,000 per trophy.
Well, so the thing about gold plating is it can be extremely, extremely thin. Like plating, it's just the top surface, and gold bond holds really well in a very thin layer. So your plating could be very, very, very thin. That's why, a lot of restaurants, they also have sometimes gold covered steak and everything. It actually doesn't cost a lot of money because it's so thin. It's thinner than paper by a factor of 10. So we'll get a quote back. We'll figure it out. So as long as it looks cool and everybody will be coveting for it. That's the idea. Someone was talking about award show is great. Thanks, Jay Corbin. I wasn't reading messages, the live chat, so I wasn't. I'm not aware of who was watching it, but I think right at the end, right at the end of the award ceremony, we had almost 6,000 viewers. right? Just right at the very end when we just picked it up. So that was a good thing. We had a little bit of audio issues at the beginning, and what happened was, you know, ideally we would like to finish it. The programming all takes quite a while to program every graphic and all the animation, and with us having to build it, technically we were still building it, and there were still components that was missing. Like we had a nice B-roll shot, drone shot over the content house location, the mountains of Salt Lake, of Utah. We had a lot of those, but we couldn't fit it in because we just haven't had time to program it. Partially is now we like say our main event. It's usually programmed, a couple of weeks in advance. But this one, Robert, it was kind of interesting because we were toying whether we should invite the winners live to say a few words. But what we were afraid of is that athletes had bad connections, so they would be like, like bad, just bad everything, bad audio, bad video. Or sometimes they'll come on, it's like, hey, can you guys all hear me? Can you guys all hear me? And it just felt a little bit awkward if we had to do that. So that's why we made a change to make sure everybody's recorded, send it back in so they have time to dress up nice and clean things up and redo it if they need to. And then we can also add subtitles because it's now recorded. Now, with that being just a few days prior, we had to put it all together, which we actually technically made one error where the first well, not the first award, the second award, I believe, video of the year. Was it video of the year? Yeah, no, the third. It was the Morozov and Vitaly's first award. We cut off Vitaly's video wasn't shown. His acceptance for this first award wasn't shown. And so that was all, when we didn't have time to really put it all together fast enough, right? Because it was all in a big rush. It's our fault because we kind of overachieved. We overestimated the team's our ability to get it all done. So we made minor errors and we went live without even getting to test our audio. Matter of fact, when the countdown started, that's only when we start putting on our left mics and everything. So we cleaned it up pretty good. I think now the new edited is good. But however, just to ensure that everybody saw Vitaly's first acceptance speech, we are re-uploading a video with just the winners acceptance speech along with the categories. So somebody who doesn't want to, who's now coming back from a weekend vacation or whatever, and doesn't want to watch the 90-minute award ceremony, they can jump straight into our new video that has the winners, the categories, the winners, the top threes, and the acceptance speech without Robert and I. So that's also another option.
That's what people really want to see anyway. So I think that's perfect. Let's get that out there, and the stuff that matters the most, they can see it, and it's condensed, and they have time.
Yeah,
a lot better. We get a lot more viewers.
Yeah. So and there are always different groups of people. There are some groups who want to watch the whole thing, and there are some who, let's just get straight to the point. If you can give me the list of winners and I can read it off in 5 seconds, that's good enough for me, right? So it is, it's a little bit for everybody. And what I'll say about this though is that looking back for 2025, it has been a kind of a roller coaster for me at the very least, because there'll be so many new things that we're learning, a lot of things that, felt like sometimes I was thrown in the deep end into a new sport to me, right? But very quickly we had to learn how to swim, else we'll be sinking, right? And there were the one consistent part that I felt was the community was very supportive in almost everything. Sure, there was some that critiqued us, but overall, even like with the because when I saw the people who voted and everything, as in like the numbers and everybody who's engaged in this our inaugural ceremony, I felt like a lot of love for arm wrestlers for arm wrestling is out there, and I think that is key. And we should. So I saw Pradeep's video today. He recommended a new category, Robert, and it was the Super Fan Award. The
Oh, that's a
biggest
good
fan of
idea.
the year gets an award, but this
Super
would
fan.
be
Yeah. I think that's a great idea, Pretty
so.
Yes. Um,
Yeah, I gotta think about that for a second. I'm gonna think about that for a second. But anyway, either way, I I just wanna like thank everybody who tuned in yesterday, but also everybody who support us one way or the other, from buying our merchandise to uh you know people who bought the pay-per-views, and for those who couldn't and but still support us verbally and just spreading the sport. I think that's very key. The one thing that we talk internally with our media team, one of the goals is to spread the sport, right? When we spread the sport, eventually it will filter through, and just like everything else, in my opinion, when somebody gets really into something, the first thing they'll see is who's the best in the world and what is he doing or what he did to get to be the best, and it'll copy him, and inevitably they'll end up going and finding, oh, Levon's the best. Let me see Levon's training regimen. Let's see if I can get there, right? So it will flow back to us, and yeah, we couldn't have done 2025 without you guys. It was, it was a roller coaster ride for me, but I think 2026 is nothing but upwards and onwards.
Yeah, and then also for the fans, I really appreciate the fans who support and the ones who are giving us constructive criticism. The people that just are just, trolls or just saying negative things just to be negative, because that's, you can kind of tell a person by what they say, right? I mean, if they're saying just all negative stuff, they're in a pretty dark place, they're in a bad place. So, you know, you know, and we don't want to go there, and we don't want to, we don't want to amplify that either. But the people that are constructively criticizing and saying, hey, this was a problem, this is how you could do it better, like giving solutions, like giving their ideas on how to make it better. Like, I mean, I saw some comments, and I actually was thinking about this, and you and I talked about it. We didn't have time to do it, but why not have Neil run the show? I mean, be the host, right? That, I mean, that's what we wanted. And those were some of the comments. And it's like, yep, that they're exactly right. That's what we want to do. In the future, it'll be much, much better. Plus, because we're trying to throw things together here without our media team, your idea, Dexter, of having the show from now on, the first show of the year for EVW, we actually have the awards, because now we have the video team, broadcast team, very high end, audio engineers are there. I mean, we're not going to have any of those problems. And we have the athletes there, and the athletes that aren't there, we can do a live feed, or we can have the video, or we can invite them as special guests and get almost everybody there. So it'd be a live show, much, much better. So I think from now on, it's going to be great. This first one had a lot of issues, and like you've covered the reasons why, those are almost all of those issues are resolved by having the award ceremony during or in the weekend of our main event for the first show of the year, like in February or end of January, or whenever we have the first show.
Yeah, yeah, and I think this is a good trial run to engage the interest of the community. But like, so even one Tomber 7411 is saying, is this trophy essentially the Ballon d'Or but for arm wrestling? Yes, that is exactly what it is. Essentially, and I think it's something that people should. I mean, world titles, be it, is probably, it's pinnacle that you're the strongest in your category, right? But having one of these is another way that we could also appreciate and thank our athletes. Some of them work really hard. I mean, some of them, I know almost everybody, all of them actually, I know, sacrifice something one way or the other, right? Either through time dedicated to training or even flying, missing out on some of their family activities just to come to an event to poll. So all of them sacrifice. So this is another way for us to show our gratitude, and by giving them a little bit of spotlight. Now, even in the news media, uh, which is the only category that's outside of our athletes, we find that a lot of them, like I know for a fact, they don't make, even though they're monetized, they don't make a lot of money of these. They're really mostly doing this out of passion. We have even some like channels like arm breakdowns, for instance, right? He's been consistently posting, you know, every day, right? But his channel doesn't even have 1,000 subscribers. So I want to give a shout out to him that he's not demoralized. He's not, well, I've been doing this for a couple of months and I'm still not monetized. But if you see his video, it's arguably very clean, very professional, no drama, pure news. And but it's just that, right? We need all these content creators, Brazilian arm wrestling, I mean, there's so many out there that I probably cannot name them all, but they also help contribute the growth of the sport, which is why it's the category that we kind of push for, that's outside the athletes. That there are also some mentions about, somebody mentioned, what about commentator of the year? We don't have too many commentators to rotate around. So unless we make it into a serious program where everybody's rotating and moving around, then perhaps. But yeah, so if you guys have any ideas and recommendations for new categories for the 2026 awards ceremony, leave it in the comment and we'll take those into consideration, because I think we want to grow this. We kind of know the format. I think we can go a lot faster. One of the very quick things that Robert and I learned was that we should get a earpiece. Whoever is hosting should get a earpiece so that they're giving the countdown that, okay, the video is ending in 3 seconds, 2, and then immediately when the video ends, that's when the person can speak, instead of trying to wait and then there'll be like a 2-second lag once the video ends, or we'll be looking down on a phone on our notes and then like, oh, okay, the video is back on our face, right? So it wasn't as smooth, but now we know what we know. It's going to be upwards and onwards. And really, aside from the initial audio that has now since been edited out, right? I think so. That there was people who gave us a 7 out of 10 for our first show. So as long as it was not under 40%, I think I'll take it as a win for now. But yeah, Robert, there's somebody who says, is commenting, Mr. Green 1988. He says, I like the chair Robert is sitting in.
Somewhere from 98. That's nice of him. But yeah, I kind of like the chair, but I might need to get one that sits up a little bit more.
Oh,
And what those ergonomic chairs that they make now.
Oh yeah. We spend a lot of time on our chairs, so that's why I rotate between my chairs to keep finding the best one. But chairs can be so expensive, really.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. Okay, so this CBLA is asking 57 versus 55. Can you show a strictly fan vote on the arm wrestler of the year? Robert thought Devin would win and decided to choose Vitaly, which is biased in my opinion. Okay, so I know there were quite a number of you who reached out to me personally and also publicly asking us to break out fan votes versus jury votes. And the idea of not releasing those numbers is for several reasons. Now, it's not like we're trying to hide or it's lack of transparency. I mean, ultimately, what matters is the total votes, which is there. But the reason why most I think there's only like one sports association that releases how the jury votes. It's I think MLB, but every other sport out there does not release that. Even professionally in the Oscars and all the outside non-sports awards, they never release how the jury votes. With the reasoning is they don't want the jury to face any retaliation from the public, right? And they also wish, well, if there is a fear of retaliation, which means the jury will be pressured to vote how the fans vote, right? In that manner. And it's not always strictly the case. Now, example, right? Example. We kind of know, well, there are times in history for other sports as well. Example, say Conor McGregor, right? He is by far the most popular sports among the newer generation, the younger generation, for a really long time. And his fan base is so huge. But for the year that he lost back to back, and assuming he loses the whole year, but if the fans were voting for say fighter of the year, he will still win, which is why there is a jury to ensure that we can balance things out. Should something abnormal happens like that, right? Because when we talk about athlete of the year or arm wrestler of the year, we take things into consideration. We place a higher value on world titles, which is the primary reason I felt like where Vitali had an edge over Devin, right? So in that sense, that's why the jury votes. Well, that's why there's a jury to try to balance things out and prevents people from gaming the system. And also but again, we don't have ultimate power because we only go up to 50%. So technically it can still be overwritten by the fans as well. So it's a very balanced system. Now for yeah. So that's also so that's basically the reason why we don't release jury votes. Fear of retaliation and fear of public pressure.
Yeah. So to answer the question, I'm not sure if I understood it correctly, but he was saying that the comment there is saying, or the fan is saying that that I should have voted for Devin, something like that. What I actually said was that I didn't think that Devin deserved Athlete of the Year this year. I think Vitali did, but I thought that the fans would have voted for Devin because Devin has more fans than anybody, and that he would probably win regardless of how I voted. But anyway, no, I stand by that. I mean, that's that. I truly believe that Vitali should have
And
won that.
and here's the clear thing about CBLA when it says in your opinion, which is absolutely correct. That is our opinion. That is the opinion of the jury, and that's the opinion of fans. Everybody had a say in things, right? So in essence, I mean, video of the year, for instance, that one was, you know, that one, yeah, though it was a clear winner for Levon's, 400-pound curl. But the thing is, it's one of those that even if you voted for another video, can somebody say that, oh, that's that's a wrong choice? There's no wrong choice, technically. Every nominee who was up there is no wrong choice. They all were nominated for a certain reason. And whether or not you think that reason, it's yours to decide. It's your own opinion. So it's that's ultimately what it is. It's our decision.
Well, I think we maybe take a look at having a little more weighted heavily toward the fans and less toward the jury. I know that's not normal. I know that's not how the other awards shows do it. I know they have it much higher than 50% typically for the jury. But I think in our case, where it's so fan driven, I mean, our sport is
Every sport is fan driven, though, Robert. Every sport is fan driven.
but our fans are they're most of them are arm wrestlers, very knowledgeable, way more knowledgeable than say an Oscar nominee or a a Grammy. I mean, it's just different. So I think our fans are different. I think they're more passionate. I think they're more knowledgeable. I think they're smarter than almost, I can't think of a sport that has a better fan base. I mean, a smarter and a more intelligent and a more passionate. And I mean, they're just all in, right? So I would give our fans more of the edge and more of the vote. We got to talk about that maybe offline a little bit.
So,
But I,
so to clarify, a lot of other jury and fan voting split.
Mhm.
They're usually 90% jury rated, or sometimes as at the lowest is 70%. So
Yeah.
us going 50-50 is already being very abnormal. Just so you know, it's
Yeah,
being
no, I
very, very
know.
normal.
I know that's the norm. I mean,
Yeah.
is the 70 and 90 and all that. I do know that. But
Yeah.
in our case, I think we got to take a look at making it more the fan. Uh, the fans pick it tip mostly, but the jury does have a say. It does have some vote.
Yeah, we can look at it.
Yeah.
Lots of lots of haters in the chat. Mods could have done a little better job by Houdini Sports. Well, again, I didn't go back and watch it, so I don't know what the haters were talking about. But they were probably arguing about, well, the person that they thought would win didn't, so they were probably complaining. And ultimately, that we can only pick a winner, and it's not we pick the winner, right? I mean, it was a total score thing, and we didn't know how it will turn out after we tabulated the scores on both sides. So, and there will always be people who are upset that the winner in their heart is not the same as the winner of the golden trophy.
I think
And
most people, though, would have to agree that the winners, I mean, they really, it's pretty unanimous. I mean, there was only a couple categories that were even close. And so it and that's unanimous for the jury and for the fans. So we didn't
so
actually.
actually, that is not the case though, Robert. If you see the way that the fans voted, sometimes they were pretty equal, and it was only up to the jury who decided on the winning vote on at least three categories, but it was kind of balanced. Oh, sorry, only two of the categories. So that the two categories, which I won't name, kind of the jury had to set that designation because the fans' votes were pretty tight too.
Hmm. So yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that it was pretty overwhelming in most cases. But you see the number, so uh,
Yeah, so well, it's two out of seven that the jury had to make that determination of who the winner is, right?
yeah.
But the rest was understood. So it's 5 out of 7 that the jury and the fans kind of voted, alongside each other. So it wasn't that terrible. But for the most part, what
Yeah,
yeah.
I understand. So yeah, I think that the complaints that the way I'm reading it anyway, because I did look at some of the comments, and they were not so concerned about the voting as the production quality. I mean, with the audio, that was the
Oh
main.
yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
There is that
So
too. But
so
that's
so
during
that's
the
yeah
early
that
part of the live stream. Yes.
yeah. So that now it's a lot better now. So it's actually pretty good now, or pretty, you know, it's not where we'd like it to be, but it's much better now. Um, my point, I guess, is that going forward, that's all taken care of because we don't, we do it at the event with all of our experts and all the broadcast team and the audio
Right.
engineer team. So, but one of
But
the issues in the future.
Houdini is also talking about the mods doing a better job. That's also along the lines of haters, or unless they're not giving any good criticism, like, hey, the audio is bad. Now the audio is bad, that's a good thing in that way because it alerts the media team
Oh
to
yeah,
go fix it, right? So those are totally fine. But so I wouldn't have moderated. We don't moderate pretty hard, honestly. We don't moderate really hard unless it's a pure disparagement of racism or some nationalistic kind of argument, political argument that had nothing to do with what you're doing, then the moderators would probably have to kind of suspend them. But for the most part, it's not
Yeah.
that bad. Yeah, let's see. Why wasn't Aussie arm wrestling one of the choices in the voting? I'm guessing nominees. There were a lot of people who, from the news media perspective, did not qualify in our minds, and the reason was one of the criterias was they needed to be more consistent, and they needed to focus more on news rather than uh podcasting or doing lives. Now obviously you could do news whilst live, but when it's more on a podcast level, it's becomes more of, you know, let's discuss about this, right? It's not news anymore, it's more of a discussion based kind of video. And so Aussie doesn't, I mean, he does good content, but not in the news media perspective. Yeah, that's why he wasn't on there. I mean, technically, if you want to go that route, technically Coach Ray should be also on there. There were a lot of people who weren't on there because we wanted to make sure that it was for the criteria of news media. So focus on news. Now, obviously, if they were news media first and then they have some commentary on the side, then that's a little bit different. But Aussie did, I felt like news was his secondary focus. So no disrespect to any of those who didn't do it, who wasn't nominated. It was just to fit in that category. That was our criteria. I mean, technically speaking, Neil Pickup also would have qualified. He's also very consistent. Every Sunday, he has the fix with a whole bunch of different athletes and arm wrestlers, right? But it's not really news media type. It's more like discussional based, which is why.
And actually, he does like 2 podcasts a week. I think he does one on Sunday and one on Thursday, and sometimes one on Monday as well. So he's more consistent and does more content than
Right.
any of our YouTube news people, or however you want to classify. He does more content than anybody, but he certainly can't be classified as news media because it's a podcast.
Yeah. So they are in a separate category. And here, Robert, maybe it's a different new category by itself because they feel like it's two different. Maybe it's open up instead of news media, it's content creator of the year.
Yeah. Or maybe you have two. You have news media and content creator.
Maybe. Yeah.
The other question I think would be good for the fans, and maybe for us to do a poll on, is do we get rid of one category? I actually thought that we probably should have. Now that we've done it, I think we should. Moment of the year and match of the year can be too close. It can be one of the same, and it was this year. I mean, it just happened to be the same, the same match and the same moment. So, do we get rid of that? Do we get rid of moment of the year and keep match of the year, or do we keep them both?
So when we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago, there were fans who called out that it should be separate because it so happened that it happened this year. But I can honestly tell you that the way that I'm not going to tell you who I voted for, but my vote for the winner of both of those categories were different. They weren't for the same, right? And that's because that's my own personal opinion. And also to clarify, the results for that moment of the year, the one that we released was actually the wrong number. It was actually a little bit closer. Just so you know, Robert. Yeah, I think we updated the numbers. So it was like, I think it was originally shown at 70 to 40. Now it's, I think, 70 to 50 something. So it was actually closer. We had a math error, and when we updated into the Dropbox system for our programmers to program into the graphics feed, they never saw the new one. But yeah, so it was a lot closer than match of the year. The match of the year was very clear winner, but moment of the year was quite tight. So there were yeah. So again, it's album of the year and song of the year. They're always different, and usually it's the same winner, but not always. We'll never know. But
Mhm.
yeah, and if it's double, it's double. It's not that big of a deal. Um,
Let's see what the fans say about it, though. I think we ought to do a poll.
we did a couple of weeks ago, and it was that's why we kept it a month ago maybe.
Was it overwhelming?
It wasn't overwhelming. I don't know if it's overwhelming, but that was enough. It doesn't have to be overwhelming to pick one way or the other.
If it's overwhelming, it makes it more clear of a choice. If it's close, it could go either way.
Let's see. Pradeep doing so much, that is laughable. Okay, well, so maybe there was a little bit of, because right now there's a lot of people talking about arm wrestling news. They voted for them. But here's what I'd say though, right? Let's see, right? So James Bonning says disappointed arm wrestling didn't win anything. I mean, there's only one category that he's nominated in, so we can only pick a winner. Now, obviously, you could see that he was, relatively in a close second position, and has never been recognized by EVW. Well, let's take a step back. I mean, the fact that I've brought up arm wrestling news and Pradeep multiple times in the past 40 minutes, it's a testament to show that our appreciation to all the news media out there, right?
And in the awards ceremony, he was.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually talked about him for a
Yeah.
while as well. So yes,
we recognized him, right? We recognize him, and maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe in 2027, we'll announce that he won for 2026. So I would firmly disagree that we have not recognized him. We have recognized him, and we recognize a lot of other content creators out there. There's maybe, Robert, there's only one content creator out there that I'm not a fan of.
so we probably shouldn't say.
I'm probably gonna say, because I'm gonna give him more attention, but he bugs the crap out of me. He makes fake accusations, threatens to sue me. Oh my goodness! I just totally blocked him and stopped talking to him.
There's there's another one that I think should be a nominee for next year or for this year, and that is Arm Breakdown. I thought they did a really good job. There's another one
You talked about that one.
that it's really hard to find because they're very small, but he does an amazingly good job. He's out of Washington State, and he's an arm wrestler, but he's very great news, very factual, very fair. And I sent you the name, and now I can't remember the name, and I've tried to look it up. And
Are you talking about Craig?
No, Craig Souble. He's a podcaster. This guy is actually news. Anyway, I'll find him, and I think he should be also in the mix along with Arm Breakdown. I mean, we have others that pretty worthy. They're coming along pretty strong.
Yeah. What I'll say is, now that when people know that this is a real thing, right? There might be a little bit more encouragement from not only our athletes, but also maybe from news media and content creators, to actually maybe this is one of the goals for 2026, is trying to do enough to be nominated, right? So yeah. Potentially. Let's see. This Arm Bricks Award. No, I think the Golden Arm Award sounds the best. Golden Arm.
I like Golden Arm.
Golden Arm. Yeah, that's right. The more we can grow arm wrestling channels, the more explosion and more understanding, excitement there can be. And that's exactly it. Somebody was telling me that in today's, several years ago, Robert, it's better to have one account with, say, 100,000 subscribers. But today, it's better to have 10 accounts with 10,000 subscribers. Right? Obviously, not by the same owner. and the smaller they call it micro influencers, they are more valuable now per subscriber counts than the big influencers. So the market's slowly shifting, and they realize, even like sponsors and whatnot, they realize that they get a better ROI, return on investment. The smaller, well, obviously it can't be too small. So even accounts that are in the few thousand range, like myself, doesn't matter uh of what my follow counts is. What matters is the view counts, and what is the percentage of their videos being completed, watch completed, right? There's a special tool that tells us that in analytics. So those matters a lot more than sub counts.
And then
uh,
how many times you've been shared and you've been distributed out through editing and all different channels. I mean, that's a big factor too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Technically, only several thousand people watch my videos every Sunday, but and this is why I feel so thankful, because not everybody has the time to watch a 90-minute weekly podcast with me and you, right? But everybody has 3 minutes to spare to watch one of the other news media outlets who cut and paste, and start take small clips of our conversation and put it onto their channel, and it just and they usually have 10 times more views than my channel, but that's fine, because what we are here is to spread information and answer questions and give people clarity of what exactly is
Yeah.
our thought process is. So
Yeah, what we really care about is not our channel or your channel or EVW's channel even. It's the athletes' channel. So it's the matches, the athletes, building them up. It's as many of those videos, as many of those clips as we can get. They can share throughout the community, throughout even outside the community. That's what's going to grow our sport and build it. Not just some clips of podcasts. I mean, that's probably the least valuable in my opinion.
yeah, the one thing I want to point out as well is none of this could happen without all our sponsors, right? For 2025, we had several, we have quite a lot of sponsors, but I would like to also give a shout out to, arguably, I'm trying to think though, Robert, he is the most consistent sponsor of 2025. Gold Star Coffee. He's in the chat, and he has sponsored every event last year. He's the only sponsor who, right? I think he's the only sponsor who sponsors every event. Infinity Functional Performance came in one event later. He came in during Arlington, which is our second event of last year. So he would be in second place if there is a sponsor award of the year.
Yeah,
it would go to
that's
Gold Star
true.
because consistent. But I think this year we've already kind of partnered up with two main sponsors, Top Force. Top Force. They do tables and they do a lot of arm wrestling equipment. Historically, they build powerlifting and weightlifting equipment, barbells and whatnot. And now they are doing a lot more arm wrestling. So we thank them for they'll actually set up a booth in Vienna. So we'll all get to see all their different products. And the other one we have is Bucked Up, right here.
Yeah.
Bucked Up. So Bucked Up, we actually moved locations, our filming location, because the owner Ryan graciously allowed us to say, "Hey, why don't you just do it in my content house? My it's a studio built for content." So we were like, let's do it, and it also allows us to give them more recognition and give more value to our sponsors in that matter.
Yeah.
We also
Well,
have I spoke to sorry, go ahead.
And just to clarify, I mean, it wasn't Ryan who actually asked for that, the founder and CEO of Bucked Up. It was me asking Ryan, hey, do you think we could use your facility for our award ceremony? He's like, sure, absolutely. I mean, so he wasn't even asking for it, but it was a great fit. I mean, it helped us, it helped him. Win-win.
He offered when we met him earlier in the week. He offered us the spot, and then we thought like, yeah, we can do it there. That's great, and very nice, humble guy. I also had pretty long conversation with the owner of Gold Star till like 4 a.m. in the morning. And he also committed to sponsor every event in 2026 as well. So
Oh, great.
so we'll see Gold Star everywhere. Now, if you guys who are in North America especially need a good cup, you know what's funny? If you key in world's best coffee, it goes to Gold Star's website.
Really?
That's how good it is.
That's good.
Yeah. So check him out. Yeah, was there a best underdog award? I guess
Well,
it's
it would have to go to
hard.
Bogdan Stoika if we did have it.
Yeah, it's he would probably win. He would probably win because he had one of the biggest
8 to 1
difference.
odds against him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah. Oh, let's have a great 2026 full support here by Gold Star. Yeah. And all these sponsors really help us drive a high level production quality. Now, yesterday was an anomaly because we only had one person running all our tech, our hit of a video. No, obviously we probably should have also flying a sound engineer, but that's besides the case because we had to go do a whole bunch of programming anyway. Let's see. I would be happy to buy the awards like a pay-per-view event if that meant all nominees were in attendance. So the idea behind right now, obviously we're a year away from the next award ceremony. The idea is it's probably going to be the first event, maybe second, but it's going to be early in the year that the event for the award ceremony would be an in-person event where there's a dinner, right? And if you are a VIP ticket holder, you are welcome to attend that award ceremony. We just ask you to dress a little bit more formal because it's going to be probably a black tie event. But I think that would be a cool thing where even fans could come attend in person, Robert. I think it'd be so,
Yeah.
and
Well,
we gotta,
we don't want to have the fans dress up, but unless they want to, but the nominees and the winners, it would be good if they could. But at the same time, if it's going to be live, having athletes bring like a suit with them when they're bringing carry-on would probably be hard to do. So it probably won't. It'll be less of. It won't be a black tie. It won't even be a suit probably. But it doesn't matter. It's more important that we've got live everybody there. The people that can accept the awards are live, and not every case will they be able to be there. But in most cases, we can have them right there in person live, but probably not in suits.
well, usually if the event is all, classy, you want to stay classy, and usually there's a dress code. Now, obviously, dress code could mean in many cases, and exceptions are given. Especially a lot of our arm wrestlers, they are so massive that it's so difficult for them even to buy a suit to begin with.
Yeah,
right.
We want to just scrap that idea for arm wrestling because the arm wrestling community doesn't fit. It's quite contradictory actually. So we can go offline on it, but yeah, that's something that we don't want to do.
Yeah. But if they know they win, they might have they might invest in it. You saw Morozov look so sharp yesterday.
Yeah,
Morozov got
but like
a
I say,
three-piece suit.
but if it's in person, if you're asking him to bring a suit, which is basically now you start getting into checked baggage, and they don't want to deal with that. More chances of losing things. Athletes like to carry a carry-on. So anyway, somebody that loves to. I travel all around as an athlete before, and like others, I bring one carry-on and that's it. Even if I'm gone for 10 days, it's just one piece of carry-on, and I drive and because otherwise your chances of losing the baggage in international flights is very high, and and your costs go up. In European flights, the checked baggage can be almost as much as the flight itself. So anyway, that's why they don't like to do it. But we can talk later.
Gold Star has been a longtime dedicated supporter and sponsor of EVW. Show them love, support high quality coffee to boot. Things. We do it because we are fans. Yeah. So the owner of Gold Star, he is a true fan. He knows all the ins and outs of what's happening, and occasionally I actually, well, every now and then I'll give him a call and we'll just chat for, like, yesterday we spoke for hours and hours, and he gives me ideas. He says, hey, you know, you should do this, hey, you should do that, right? So one of the things that he pointed out was like, hey, logos should be higher up on the sleeve so that when the athlete's bicep curls, and the shirt, the lower part of the sleeve goes up, it doesn't block the sponsor's name, right? That's one. And he gives a lot of great advice on what to do, what to say, what should be, what's typical, because he doesn't just watch arm wrestling, he watches MMA as well. And so he'll tell me on what they are doing and making sure that we are rising to the same level. And so yeah, a lot of consultation. So not only are we getting sponsorship, but we are also getting some information that's very, very helpful.
Yeah, I think we would probably owe Gold Star money if we went by the time that he spends with us compared to the sponsorship opportunities that we give him.
Yes. Everybody's talking about how good Gold Star is right now, and Gold Star is on Amazon in Canada and America. Yeah, let's see. Hit the like buttons. Okay, so everybody is saying 5% per jury is huge. That balances nothing. That gives biases that hit starts. Okay, so to clarify, it's not technically 5%. It's not 5%, and it's not based on a 200%. The numbers that you see is not that. Okay, I put a dampener effect to ensure the jury does not control the whole vote. Because, example, if it's all or nothing, if we vote the same way as you, our vote, each of our vote, right, now accounts for 10%, right, of a category of 5. But that's not how we do it, because if 5 of us vote for, say Snezana Babayeva, example, for Rookie of the Year. Well, no, maybe that category has seven things. Let's say news media. We all voted for XYZ news media, all 5 of us. So this person will have a hit start of 50%, correct? That 50%, and then whatever the fan votes, now assuming that it's not even close, right? But the final tally is 45% of the vote goes to, ABC company. It doesn't matter at that point, because the jury controls everything, because we threw in 50%, right? So that's why for the jury to ensure that we don't control the votes, right? Our votes don't matter, not 5% controlling everything. I put a dampener effect. So we ranked again, I'm making it clear, every nominee is given a rank. So first rank, we rank them first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way down to the 5th or 7th. And the idea behind is every rank is associated to a certain points, right? If I rank, example, ABC company is my rank first, this person gets 10 points, okay? So 10%. And for the second ranked, he gets 7%. Third rank gets 5%, so on and so forth. So really, the difference is 2 to 3% from first and second and third and fourth and fifth. So that's why the jury don't gets to control the votes in that manner. We can shape things. We are usually like tiebreakers, on votes that are close, and votes that aren't close, then usually we are aligned with the fans, or we can't even change the fans' votes. That's the idea. So dampener effect. That's what we did. Okay. DJ Constantine, I drink Gold Star coffee every day. All right, so let's see. Another one, I can't read his name. This looks like Georgian. How do you choose the weight class or arm from the EVW tournament that will be part of the prelims? Is it dependent on the rest of the card, athlete performance, or totally random? So, Robert, maybe you want to answer this question.
So did the first part of the question ask which arm? Did I hear that wrong?
To summarize is, how do you pick the person who would be coming in as the I would call it the unknown preliminary athlete competitor, right? What the
Yeah.
wild card, I guess.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be in the same weight category, first of all. So if there's somebody dominant in, say, the 95 kg category, and somebody dominant that just ruins everybody in their class in the 105 kg, we can pair those up like we did in Atlantic City. Devon Bornman wiped out his class just easily. There wasn't anybody that could even give him any. I mean, it was just, it wouldn't have been a good match if we would have picked somebody, if we would have picked him with his own weight category. And the same, and then same thing in other categories as well. So we kind of pick in that case, because there wasn't a good match really in individual categories, we had to pick, kind of mix and match. So Snerzana and I picked that. And then, we also used, I asked Ian Carnegie from Mac, he was there, and really keeping good track of it, because that's where he gets, his matches for the, coming up is from our tournaments. That's what happened with Philip Larson. Philip Larson came to Atlantic City over a year ago, and I really thought he was amazing, and so did Ian Carnegie. So Ian gave him an invite to Mac first, kind of got his feet wet with Mac, and then we brought him into EVW after that. And so that's what we kind of, in that event, we all three kind of worked together. Ian was keeping track of the statistics. We didn't really have to use the statistics much because we could just see what was happening. And that was that Duvon was a killer in his class, and Porkchop was a killer in his class. And Porkchop was already a EVW puller before he got injured with Zurab, and now he's back. Obviously, he's been doing extremely well. So that made the most sense that day. And then in Switzerland, we picked people from multiple classes, not to pull each other, but to invite to the next show. So you're going to see those guys, quite a few of them, in Vienna. How we'll pick the future winners is we're hoping to pick people from the same class that are good. It's a good match. If we can't, if that just doesn't exist, we'll mix and match like we did in Atlantic City.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. There are a couple of questions about we reveal what the jury voted. I think I addressed that. Go back a couple, maybe 10, 20 minutes earlier. I think I addressed that. Brazilian arm wrestling wasn't mentioned.
Let them know the answer is that no, we're not.
Yeah, Brazilian arm wrestler, we did mention it. They were nominated.
What was the question?
No, they said Brazilian. It wasn't a question. It was more a statement, which I'm refuting. And I know there were people who mentioned that Concrete Elbow is a troll and not news. Now, to clarify, we only look at what happened in 2025, right? So, if we were to expand that and say, hey, Concrete of the Year award, Arm Wrestler of the Year award should go to, say, example, it should extend beyond the 2025, then John Berzing is going to win for the next foreseeable future for his contribution to the sport, right? And you will look at Levon being one of the top contender as well, but we looked only in 2025. And so in 2025, and we reviewed his video to make sure that there were not any weird things going around or any drama trolls or fake news going out there, which he didn't. So that's why he was nominated. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, shout out to Craig Sublair, arm historian. Okay, that's also, yeah. There is going to be a lot. There is going to be a lot of chatter, and so when it gets closer, we may Robert me I might want to do this. I'm gonna open it up to the public and fans this time because lack of time, right? What we could do here, Robert, and I think this would be pretty critical and good, right? Because there was no time to do this, we couldn't program the video. Well, I mean the whole polling system and everything. What I'm gonna do is the nominees are selected by the fans, the top 5 or top 7 or whatever, right? The nominees are the one that helps select that. Right this year, because of lack of time, we didn't have time to go
Mm.
fix the website. The jury kind of like came together and came up with that list of nominees who we thought was the best, and that was the only option given to the fans to vote, right? So maybe next year we can involve them more by having a multi-prong kind of thing. So maybe by the last event, they have to quickly set up the nomination system on our website, and everybody can just go in and start putting all the nominees they think are qualified. We'll use the system to tabulate who are the top, who has the most number of votes, and then boom, it will go into uh, the top 5 or top 7. So maybe we could do something like that. Give the fans a more, a bigger
How do
voice.
you how do you keep fans from voting multiple times though, to skewing the numbers?
Yeah, so I know there were a couple of people who didn't. They were hoping to make it as easy and let the least amount of obstacle to come in and vote. But at minimum, we had no choice but to prevent any abuses, not just from a perspective of a single fan voting multiple times, but it's more to prevent especially hackers or some malicious individual from using a bot, right, to spam the votes using some sort of an automated program to spam the votes of the choice of the athletes. So to prevent that, we needed to have some level of account verification to authenticate the user. So there is a small little holdback, a little bit of an obstacle in order to vote. So using the same account, they can vote only once.
So they just have to put in their email address or something to verify that it's a person?
Yep. So we don't allow people to go and game the system and figure out a loophole to keep voting that athlete over and over again.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah. So there is that. I don't know what this Dexter of the Year should be a category. The best non-arm wrestler in the sport. Non-arm wrestler. That's what the Dexter Award is. There's so many people that I met, Robert, lately. They're not arm wrestlers, but they're mega fans, super mega fans. Some of them are VIPs. I mean, look at Randy at 98. He was talking to me. He doesn't arm wrestle super hard, right? Compared to some of his other, buddies at 98. But I mean, there's a lot of a lot of fans who are now. Obviously, we arm wrestle to a certain degree, but we're never gonna be able to eye on EVW main stage as one of our goals in life. Maybe we should, but at the same time, there's a lot of the Dexes of the arm wrestling out there. Big fans, but knowing that we are not gonna actually hold one of these.
Yeah.
The real base community fans. Do the jury really watch all the YouTube content videos to judge objectively? Content videos. The one thing that I'd say though, to be transparent with you guys, and this was something that I was having a conversation with Pradeep yesterday, and the one thing that I do agree is that anything that happened in the second half of 2025, because it happened more recently, it tends to be stickier in our minds. Because it's fresher and we'll recall things. So now, obviously, there are if all our athletes combine and if you count all the videos that they provide, it's probably thousands of videos out there in 2025. To say that us jury, we were able to watch every single video made by our athletes last year, that's probably a very big stretch, right? Especially videos that happened early in the year, we probably might have already forgotten. So to say that I remember everything and I watch all videos from all athletes, I don't know about that. But because of that, uh, with this whole new nomination system, you guys could also remind me. So what I also did was I went on our social media channels, like even including Reddit, to see what fans were recommending on videos of the year, and I used those to identify if they were worth it. But if you're talking about all the matches and everything, yes, the jury, we've watched the videos front and back, and we're really well versed of the match. Matter of fact, Robert and I, we were at every event that happened. And you were probably right up front to watch the event, so we kind of know. Is there prize money for the winners? No. No. So, sorry, Robert, you were going to say something?
Well, I was just going to add to that before. So, have we watched every video? No. I mean, I don't think it's possible to watch every video, but the videos that get traction, the videos that get views, yeah, we're seeing those because they're getting views, right? But also we weren't paying as much attention because we didn't know we were going to do an awards ceremony until later in the year.
Yes.
And so now that we know that this is an ongoing event and it's something that we've got to be paying attention to early on, yeah, we're going to be really watching every video that has any kind of stickiness to it, that has any kind of viewership numbers to it, for sure.
Yes, exactly. So now that we know what we are looking for, like I think one of the things that we mentioned yesterday was the walkouts, right? Walkouts is going to be a thing, so we'll be paying more attention to walkouts. Now, even match of the year would be based off winners of the match of the night, right? To be qualified to be part of the nomination. So those are some of the categories that, because we know it's happening, we're going to pay really close attention, and we start going to make notes. So if there's a viral video like that happens tomorrow, though it's early in the year and in 12 months it might get a little bit fuzzy, but at least now we'll pay attention, we'll make note of it, and we'll record it down for next year. Well, everybody's thanking Gold Star, so that's super good. Somebody's asking, can we get arm wrestler of the year for each category? It's hard to see anyone but a male super heavyweight getting the votes needed. I mean, not necessarily. It could be a female that could win. I mean, Barbaro was up there. We also saw Mindaugas getting a lot of fan favor. There was a lot of fans that voted for him. Look, Todd Hutchings was in a. Now, obviously, Devin won the fan favorite, but Todd was second place, and he's not even super heavyweight. So, for now, we'll just keep it arm wrestler of the year.
Yeah, and there's not enough women arm wrestlers at this point to have a separate category for us. So that's another reason I think we need to keep it all together.
Yes. Any chance you can have a slot on Sunday introducing an arm wrestling channel partner live guest? That's a great idea. I was actually thinking about it because I was talking to Arm Breakdowns early in the week. Or was it last week? And I like his content. His content is, one of the channels that I really like a lot. But unfortunately, he's smaller, so but again, he's not any less motivated to produce good content. So that's why, as a personal fan of his channel, I would say, guys, go check out On Breakdown. He produces good content. If you don't know him, just go on YouTube and look him up, Arm Breakdown. And so they are not the only ones that are doing good content. There's a lot of good contents out there, a lot of new budding content creators out there that I try to, so as long as their content is good, I give them all the shout out needed, right? And they have been quite on multiple occasions. where a budding good channel that I support, that hey, I would like to have one of the EVW athletes as a special guest. Can you? And I don't have the contact. Do you think you can reach out to them for me? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. If you need an EVW athlete and you get them on your show, but you may only have like 2,000 subscribers, no, yeah, I'll put you guys in contact. I'll check with the athletes and get back to you, because I think this whole content creating platform, yeah, it's absolutely critical for us to spread the sport, spread the love, and spread all the information out there. And hopefully, there might be a lot more conversions from people who are outside the sport seeing in, and so yeah, I happy to do so. I'll take that into consideration. That's a great idea. Great idea. Let's see. Mr. Dave Shafee's match was epic. Okay. Dave Shafee. I know this is a little bit late, but says that internet fans are 80% Devon fans. It will not be balanced. 80% fans. It might be just Devon has a lot of fans. Devon has a lot of fans, for sure. That's why he won fan favorite, I guess. Right? No questions asked. He's definitely a fan favorite. CBL, I said, I should point out, I enjoyed the rewards and the concept behind it. Any special jersey colorways for EVW 25? Maybe white gold combo. EVW 25. I don't even know we confirmed that yet. So I don't even know where the venue is. Did you announce where EVW 25 is going to be, Robert?
No, we've got we've got it to narrow down to two choices, though, that we can't talk about yet. But
can't talk about. So we have Vienna coming up, right? We have Vienna coming up, and next we have Germany locked in as well. Most of the card has been finalized. Almost there.
All but one match.
All but one match. And if anybody of you, I mean, we've already announced two of the matches, right? They're big. They're big. And Robert, we should also at least tell the fans of one more athlete whose match opponent is contingent on the Vienna outcome. I think that's going to be critical.
Yeah. So so let's go ahead and give them this on your channel. So it'll be David Samusha in the 85 kg right hand category for world title. He will be going against the winner of the 85 kg contender coming up in Vienna. So that'll be between Teletnik, which is Manifester, Alexander Manifester Teletnik, and Vlad the Destroyer. That's whoever wins that match is going to be going against Samusha for the world title.
Yep. So you can see there's a little bit of that tie-in storyline from Vienna to Cologne, Germany. Cologne, Germany, again, once again, it's during the same time as FIBO. Now, for anybody who's wondering, debating whether to go to Germany, we were also reminded, because it's happening during FIBO, plane ticket prices will start going up pretty shortly. So don't wait. You already know that you got to trust us that Germany's card is going to be nuts. We have Brian Shaw versus Leonidas. We also have Devon and Vitaly on the right, which is the big match of maybe of the year. I don't know. Still early in the year, so I don't want to say that. But
yeah, well, let's just say it's the biggest match in the last 2 years.
Yes, biggest match in the last. That's a much better way of putting things. And so, if you are debating whether to do it or not, decide early so you save money on your airfare, because FIBO's and also technically, if you'd like, you could also go there a little bit early and go to the FIBO show. So make it a win-win situation. Don't just come for EVW. Go a couple days early. Go attend the FIBO, because the FIBO is also a couple days event, and you could even stay till Sunday or Monday, because Sunday there's also FIBO going around, and I believe Devin Devin is a special guest on Sunday to do something with FIBO. So he's there doing something. We were also requested to have all our athletes do a meet and greet at FIBO. So will have a lot of presence in FIBO. So make it a whole weekend of full of fun stuff, not just EVW, but also come for FIBO.
And if people don't know about FIBO, I think most people, well, in Europe they do, because it's the biggest strength show for powerlifting, bodybuilding in the world. Much, much bigger than anything we have in America. Much bigger than the Arnold Classic or anything. So 155,000 attendees last year.
Right.
30 different buildings, all, close as they can get together, but they couldn't hold everybody without having all the different buildings. So it's a massive show. And, we haven't seen in North America, we haven't seen anything like it if you haven't been there. So that's going on, and they're really focused on EVW actually. So, and that's a big part of that is actually Devin meeting the owner of FIBO in Riyadh about 6 months ago, and those two hit it off really well. And the owner of FIBO said, I want to have EVW and you associated with FIBO, and I want to have you at our shows. I want to come to you guys. And so we're doing a lot with them, which is a big deal, because we're talking something, way bigger than our sport that wants us to be part of it. So it was too late as far as having it at one of their venues, and actually none of their venues were big enough to hold all of our fans that are going to be there at that show. It's going to be a sellout crowd, much bigger than anything we've ever done before. And so we couldn't have done anything there, but we could have done more as far as collaborating together if we would have had more time. And we're still doing it, and they're really good to work with, and so that's come together in a big way. So if you can make it, I'll give you one more reason. If we probably ought to give our fans another reason to go, and that is there will be 4 world title matches, and we've named a couple of them. But
Who have we named so far? Because somebody just mentioned that we actually already released Samushia's match 2 weeks ago. It was on a podcast, something. Somebody just mentioned it. But anyway,
I don't remember releasing that, but yeah, I don't know where that was released, because nobody else would know it unless maybe ask where they heard that. But
yeah, it says Roy Levin says you guys released that info 1 or 2 weeks ago from a question I asked.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was released here.
So how about this? So Dave Chafee, defending his title, world title at heavyweight right hand, that'll be against. I think we can say this. I think I might have mentioned this before somewhere, but Matashenko will be contending for the title for Dave Chafee at the 115 kg.
Yeah. We haven't seen Ivan in a while, so that would be great to see him back on stage, on the table, and none other than for a world title. So that is going to be
and the people that I've talked to, just really in the know, asking them, hey, how do you think this is going to end up? And these are real arm wrestling experts that I've asked what they thought on how on who they think the winner is going to be, and it's pretty even. They think Matyshenko, his hook is incredible, and that's what it's going to do. He's going to force the hook in on Dave Chafee, and it's going to be who battled the hooks. It's going to be who has a better hook and speed. They both have quite a bit of speed, but Matyshenko, most people think has got more speed. He's known for his quickness on the go, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens on that match.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see in Germany again. Germany is in April 18. So mark that down on your calendars. April 18. Approximately, I would say 6 week ish after Vienna. And another question is that when will the athletes podcast start? The podcast starts about 3 weeks before the event. And so that would put it on the week of the 9th of February. So that's when we'll start going pretty heavy and crazy that week. We also we might start some maybe late next week. Starting too early might be kind of burn people out by the time it's at the end of the month, which is why we don't start too early. But there's that. There is also another question about emphasis on walkouts, like them entering stage with the cornerman. When can we expect that? Vienna, and that is correct. I apologize, I can't read Georgian, but in order to do so, we had to give special spotlights because it's going to be pretty dark, so we want it cinematic, and that spotlight will track and follow the athletes walking out. And because there will be more than just the athletes, there'll be the cornerman and there'll be like a small little entourage with him, that they need to widen and broaden that light. Plus, we'll need to get an additional light operator to manually control remotely that spotlight as the athlete comes out. Right. So there's a lot of things that we are planning on, but I think we want to do our best to give people the best show possible. So every aspect of the show becomes entertaining and not just when they're at the table. There's a few more talks about FIBO. Yes, FIBO is like I'm actually excited to also see. We are doing a collaboration with FIBO. We'll have a booth at our table. A table at our booth in FIBO. And the idea is not to just sell merchandise, but also to spread what arm wrestling is with the whole fitness community. So, another one's asking about Reno Masick. You got anything, any updates with him, Robert?
We're talking to him quite often, but his right, he said, is not quite ready yet. But it's getting there, and he's got a contract with I think he said the Croatian Federation. They're tied in with the Olympic Committee, and they are actually paying him, so he can't arm wrestle outside of amateur events, for certain periods of time, and so he thinks he'll be able to come back to EVW the second half of the year. So somewhere around summertime is where we'll see him back, we think.
Yes. Somebody recommended Reno versus Rickard.
Well, I think Rickard is he's not trying to lose weight right now. So he's almost 140 kg lean, so he's not fat. He's a big guy. But then so Reno is actually getting bigger too. So maybe that would be actually, that's not a bad thought. But I don't know. I'm not sure how that would play out, because right now Rickard is, he's trying to break into the top 10 in the supers, and Reno has never been in the supers before, so it'll take him a while to build up. But eventually that could be a good match, especially with Reno gaining weight. He's up there. He's well past 115 kgs right now.
Okay. And last question for the night, Robert. Are you looking to book Sonogo this upcoming year?
To book who?
Sonogo. I'm not sure who's that. Who that is? It's from a question from Roy 11.
So Sonogo, how do you? I don't have my glasses on. How do you
Sonogo.
Sonogo? I don't even know. I'm not sure who that is. Sonogo. I'll have to look up.
So there, he's a Mali arm wrestler. Oh, he's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot the name there. So I was talking to his kind of mentor or manager, and it's Iron Bibby is who I've been talking to for him. I haven't actually talked to him directly, but he's I think he's from Malta. And
Mhm.
anyway, so and that's where Iron Bibby is. So we were trying to get a visa for him to come to Atlantic City, but we just couldn't get it in time, and so I haven't actually reached back out to him. But yeah, we are now. I know who you mean.
Yeah. No more questions because it's 90 minutes now, but there was a fan, CBLA, who's recommending to test Ricker into the top 10. We can give him Alex Kudecha. So
Yeah, so I think we're going to see him in the top 10, maybe even further up pretty soon.
well, if that's it, well, thanks, Robert, for joining me. Thanks for everybody who tuned in today. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. But more importantly, thank you all for tuning in yesterday. There was a lot, thousands of you tuning in yesterday. I'm very happy that you guys supported us all the way through 2025, and there'll be nothing but better and bigger, brighter things in 2026. So thank you all.
Thanks, guys.